Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the final virtual pub quiz for the time being, fancy dress edition. So I'm dressed up as either Peter Pan or Robin Hood, depending on how you see it. It's been used in school, well, book days. I don't know how many times. I think it's been used for both. So I'm either Peter Pan or I am Robin Hood. So yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you for venturing so far from home to the stay in for your pub quiz this week, and thank you to those of you who've been dressing up and joining in with the fancy dress theme. I've had quite a few pictures sent through this week, so thank you very much. Let's just pop some up, shall we? Here we go. So loads came through from people at the Manor House this week, so hello again at the Manor House. Loads of really good pictures. We've got an Iron Man in there, very creative. A few hippies, and then we've got my mom doing her Clint Eastwood impression down in the left corner there, and of course Graham and Alison always up for dressing up, aren't they? So yeah, I've got a Friar Tuck there to go with my Robin Hood, haven't I? So there we go. Thank you very much. And Barry, your email has pinged through, but I can't get it onto the stream at the moment. So I will try and do that during the interval, so everyone can see your beaming face. Yes, so yeah, fancy dress week. I thought we dressed up on this last week. So yeah, it is the final quiz for now. It is officially quiz number 18. There was a 19th one that went on behind the scenes to test it all out. I thought it was just the 20th one, but I obviously miscounted last week. But yes, so the 19th edition, if you count the secret one that my family did to help me out with all the technology. So I've kind of put in a bit of a ending theme to it this week, which I'll explain in a moment. But of course, I haven't asked yet, what are we all drinking this evening? And you notice the big pint glass is back because we're not doing a draw this week. I can have my pint glass. So cheers everybody. Let me know what you're drinking. I'm drinking some St. Austell Hicks tonight. There you go. That's what I'm on tonight. Popped in the brewery the other week and found out it's cheaper buying it there than it is buying it at the supermarket. So that's a tip if you like your St. Austell things. Pop in the brewery, it's cheaper than buying it at the supermarkets. So here we go, Danny, raspberry vodka. I'm not quite sure that's my cup of tea, but there you go. Well, white wine. Oh yeah, it was lovely wine that you left in the fridge, by the way, Mum, that I had last night with my pizza. There we go, we got JL Ale up in the Manor team there. Beer and tea for Malcolm. That's a very interesting cocktail you've got there, sir. But there you go, so let's go with your tea jokes. I'm just adjusting my camera a little bit. There you go, it's about to topple over. Hopefully you can see me a bit better now. So yeah, our theme is all about endings and things this week. So we've got the first round is all about famous finals. The second round is a round that I am calling Have You Been Listening? Which, if you have done the quizzes throughout, I am asking 10 questions again, but in a slightly different way. Okay, so the amount of times that somebody said, I'd have got that right if you'd have worded it differently. Well, they're worded differently tonight for you. So there you go, you might have learnt something from these quizzes. Now is your time to prove it. And then after the interval, we've got a 20 question round about famous last words, as requested by Team Pebbles. Hi, Team Pebbles. Yes, so there's 5 questions of people's famous last words from books, from films, from songs, yeah, all mixed in there. So thank you for that idea, Pebbles, very fitting. Evening, Colin, Bud Light and Adam's Ale, very nice. Yeah, I'm a little bit excited this evening, excited and a bit upset as well that it's come to an end. But all good things must come to an end, so like I said, I'm taking a break, and yeah, we'll see what happens in a few weeks, what happens next. But yeah, I am going to be doing quizzes in pubs when they are available to do that. I've had a couple of offers, which is great, so we'll see where that goes. But you never know these days, do you? Anyway, I have whittled on quite a bit there, haven't I? So good evening to you all, and when you're ready, let me know, and we will begin the first round, which is our famous finals. Can we get it up on my second screen here, so I can read the questions? Yeah, just let me know when you're ready. Barry, thank you for sending through again. Loads of emails from you now, Barry, thank you. Yeah, during the intro, I'll try and get it up on the screen. Something wrong on my end, I think it's because I started streaming before and I can't add to it without messing up the stream. I will try for you though, Barry. There we go, Danny's ready, Mom's ready, Graham's ready, Woodhill Wonders are ready. There we go, Claire's ready there. Right, let's start, shall we? The famous finals. So it's all about finals and the last of something or other. So hopefully it makes sense. It should be quite straightforward. Test teams really liked the quiz this week, so thank you, test team. But let's start round one in famous finals with question 1. Who scored the winning points for England in the 2003 Rugby World Cup final? Who scored the winning points for England in the 2003 Rugby World Cup final? Nice selection of drinks there, Barry. Well, I've got to say that the picture round is all up on the social media, again, if you'd like to access it. It's 9 questions, all have something to do with either the word last, final or end. So they're all up there, but I will flash them on the screen during the interval, as usual. Yeah. Question 2. Who was the last Labour leader to have been Prime Minister? Who was the last Labour leader to be Prime Minister? If anyone's playing the drinking game, keep up. I hear that the bookshop team had a go at it one week and found it a bit of a struggle. Hi bookshop team, by the way. And thank you very much for the book. I've read it, pretty much all of it so far. I sat and was enthralled by it. Question 3. The final episode of which sitcom was entitled Things Aren't Simple Anymore and featured the main character being killed in a hit and run? So the final episode of which sitcom was entitled Things Aren't Simple Anymore and featured the main character being killed in a hit and run? It was in the year 2000, if you'd like a date on there. Good evening, Chris. We're only 3 questions in, so you can rewind, or I can ping you over some questions at some point if you missed them and read them out again. Question 4. What is the name of the final book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? What is the name of the final book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Question 5. In 1972, Gene Cernan became the last man to do what? So in 1972, Gene Cernan became the last man to do what? Question 6. So this is a 2-point question here. So this is your 2-pointer for this evening. What were the final cities, or the last cities, sorry, to host the Olympic Games? So I'd like the city that last hosted the Winter Olympic Games and the last city to host the Summer Olympic Games. So the last host of the Summer Olympic Games and the Winter Olympic Games. 2 points on offer there. That's your 2-pointer out of the way for this evening. Question 7. Who was the final Tudor monarch? Who was the final Tudor monarch? Not doing a whole round on history after the comments last time, but you've got one in here. Oh, you've got a couple throughout. Question 8. The double A side, Holler and Let Love Lead the Way, was the final #1 single for which girl group? The double A side, Holler and Let Love Lead the Way, was the final #1 single for which girl group? Question 9. Who won the FA Cup final last weekend? So who won the FA Cup final last weekend? And finally, in our famous finals round, who had a hit with the song Final Countdown? Who had a hit with the song Final Countdown? So there you go, that's the first round over and done with. So our famous finals rounds, the finals, the lasts, all of that sort of thing, to time with the fact that it's the last quiz for the moment. As usual, I'll give you a moment if you would like to have an argument with anyone on your team or talk yourself out of an answer. And then we'll move on to the Have You Been Listening round. Yeah, so round 2 was the Have You Been Listening round. So these 10 questions have all been asked over the last 19 weeks. Okay, so they've all been asked, but they've been worded in different ways. Okay, so yeah, they're not exactly the same questions, but if you have been listening, you will know the answers to these questions. So I am expecting full marks from everybody, because you've obviously all been paying attention every week, haven't you? Exactly. So here we go, the Have You Been Listening round. Round 2, question 1. Budgie the Little Helicopter was written by which former member of the royal family? Budgie the Little Helicopter was written by which former member of the royal family? Question 2. Matt Smith is the youngest actor to have played which role? Matt Smith is the youngest actor to have played which role? Question 3. With which of the armed forces did Roald Dahl serve during the Second World War? With which of the armed forces did Roald Dahl serve during the Second World War? Thank you for that comment, Danny. Yes, it's a well-rehearsed have you been paying attention speech, definitely. Welcome to my teachers. Hello to any of my colleagues joining in. Question 4. In 1980, Morocco became the first and only African nation to compete in what? In 1980, Morocco became the first and only African nation to compete in what? Question 5. Who infamously bit the head off a bat during a concert in 1980? Who infamously bit the head off a bat during a concert in 1980? I hope these are ringing some bells for you. Question 6. It takes 119.5 seconds to pour what? It takes 119.5 seconds to pour what? Question 7. Which literary character first landed in England on Whitby Beach in Yorkshire? Which literary character first landed in England on Whitby Beach in Yorkshire? Question 8. This is the question that gave me the idea for this round many weeks ago. And I got a comment of, if you'd asked that question any other way, I'd have got it right. So, I'm asking it a different way. Who played the role of Thermo Man in the TV series My Hero? Who played the role of Thermo Man in the TV series My Hero? Question 9. What was the name of the horse in Michael Morpurgo's War Horse? What was the name of the horse in Michael Morpurgo's War Horse? Wrong way round this time, is it, Mum? Oh dear.
Lucky she was listening before then.
Yeah, it is lucky you were listening last time to get the answer. Yes, well said. And then finally, in the Have You Been Listening round, question 10, Taron Egerton played the role of which Winter Olympian in a 2016 film? Taron Egerton played the role of which Winter Olympian in a 2016 film? So there you go. Were you listening over the last few months, or were you not listening? Or, as the comments have said, have you just forgotten? We'll find out, won't we, when we do the scores. Yeah, we seem to have rattled through those first two rounds this evening. So I hope I haven't gone too quickly for you. It felt like I was not going any quicker than normal. But there you go. So, as usual, we will have a little interval now for you to top up your drink. I need to top up mine, don't I? And use the facilities at the stay in, go to the bar, get any snacks that you want, all of that malarkey. And during that time, I will put up the picture round for this week. No, I'm not wearing boots number 7, Malcolm. I just have beautiful eyes. There you go. No, you're not the only person to have ever said that to me in my life, funnily enough, so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to put up the pictures. So here are the pictures. So you've got 9 pictures up on there. And yeah, they've all got something to do with the words final, last, or end. So they've all got final, last, or end in them. So there's TV, there's film, music in there, a bit of football as well. So there's lots in there, and they all have the word final, end, or last in them. Right. So I will speak to you again in a few minutes. Bye for now. hello, I have returned from the bar here at the Stay Inn. Hopefully these have been providing some level of discussion for you, these pictures. There's definitely been a discussion going on right here about some of the films there. So I thought I'd put in quite some straightforward ones and some trickier ones for you as usual. But I'll put those back up after the end of the questions before we do all the answers, so you can see them again. But I didn't have any requests for repeats, so I am back with my Peter Pan Robin Hood hat on. Shall we do some answers to the first two rounds and see how we are doing with our famous finals? And more importantly, see, have you been listening to me during these last few months? That's what I really want to know. So, let's go through some answers. I'm just going to wait on for a few seconds to make sure that you've heard my voice again and are sat down ready to mark. So, here are your answers to the first round, which is the famous finals round, as I called it. So, round one, question one. It was Johnny Wilkinson who scored the winning points for England in the Rugby World Cup final in 2003. Question two. The last Labour leader to have been Prime Minister was Gordon Brown. The final episode of One Foot in the Grave was called Things Aren't Simple Anymore. Victor Meldrew got killed in a hit and run during that episode. Question four. The final book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy is Return of the King. Question five. In 1972, Gene Cernan became the last man to walk on the moon. There were two of them who walked on the moon that day, but he was the last one off. So there you go. Question six was your two-pointer. So the last two cities to have had the Olympic Games, so your last Summer Olympic Games host was Rio de Janeiro in 2016, and your last Winter Olympic Games was held in Pyeongchang in South Korea. And that was in 2018, so Rio de Janeiro and Pyeongchang. Question seven. Yes, it was 20 years ago, One Foot in the Grave, Mum. I did, when I was doing this, I did watch some of the best bits, just for some research purposes, obviously, and it is still absolutely hilarious. Question seven. The final Tudor monarch was Elizabeth I. Question eight. The double A side Holler and Let Love Lead the Way was the final number one for the Spice Girls. Question 9. The FA Cup final was won last weekend by Arsenal. And question 10. It was Europe who had a hit with Final Countdown.
I crossed it out.
Oh dear. You did cross it out, yes? What did you put in its place?
I knew it was wrong.
Oh dear. Go with your instinct. Question two. Round two was the Have You Been Listening round. So all things that I have asked before, but in a slightly different way. So question one. Budgie the Little Helicopter was written by Sarah Ferguson. Question two. Matt Smith is the youngest actor to have played Doctor Who. Question three. Roald Dahl served with the RAF. Question four. Morocco in 1980 became the only African nation to compete in the Eurovision Song Contest. Question 5. It was Ozzy Osbourne who bit the head off a bat on stage. Question 6. It takes 119.5 seconds to pour the perfect pint of Guinness. Question 7. It was Dracula who first landed on Whitby Beach. Question 8. The role of Thermoman was played by Ardal O'Hanlon. Question 9. The name of the horse in Warhorse was Joey. And question 10. Taron Egerton played the role of Eddie the Eagle on the film there. So, were you all listening is what I want to know. Colin, anything for South Korea? I'm going to say a no, I'm afraid, because I asked for the city, not the country. Got to have some hard ones in here. So yes, I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, so, yeah, Quizmaster putting his thumb down here. So, how are we getting on so far? Seeing some good scores coming in. Manor House, what's this? You're on 19. I've only dropped 1 mark on each round so far. Excellent score. You have been listening, and actually you weren't here for some of those quizzes, so even better. Well done. Anyone else care to share a score for those first 2 rounds? So, you're making me do adding up tonight, aren't you? So Graham's on 18, Mum's on 19, 18 for the Olminati, Trevine 4 on 19 out of 20, Danny's on 15 out of 20. How are the Morgans doing? That's what I want to know. Jane is obviously doing her adding wrong as usual, trying to give herself extra points. I know your tricks by now. Colin on 20, there you go. Barry, you're on 19 as well. Some really good scores coming in here. There you go. Well done, everybody. So we've got an extended round now. So this is kind of round 3 and 4, all combined into one big round on famous last words. So you're going to start off with this round with 5 questions about people's actual famous last words. Then you're going to have 5 questions on famous last words to do with films. Then 5 questions about famous last words in songs, and finishing up with famous last words in literature. Oh, hello, Maddie. I am going to do something, yes. And then I have a little treat for you after this round. Yes, so there's those of you who saw the Facebook and other social media posts earlier on will know I've been working on something today. So I'm going to share with you a little something after this round. So thank you for reminding me, Maddie. But our round 3 is a 20 question round about famous last words. Ooh. The picture's just flashed up there for some reason, I don't know why. Lucky it wasn't the answers, eh? So here we go. Famous last words. Question 1. Whose final words before execution were, "Gentlemen, I am innocent of everything of which I am accused. I hope that my blood may cement the good fortune of the French." So whose final words before execution were, "Gentlemen, I am innocent of everything of which I am accused. I hope that my blood may cement the good fortune of the French." Question 2. Who? Oh, hang on, my phone's just turned off here with my pictures on. My questions on, sorry. Whose final words in May this year were, "My stomach hurts, my neck hurts, everything hurts. Man, I can't breathe." Whose final words in May this year were, "My stomach hurts, my neck hurts, everything hurts. Man, I can't breathe." Question 3. Which sportsman's final words were, "I'll finally get to see Marilyn"? Which sportsman's final words were, "I'll finally get to see Marilyn"? Question 4. Which musician's last words before being found dead in his bathroom were, "I'm just going to the bathroom to read"? Which musician's last words were before being found dead in a bathroom, "I'm going to the bathroom to read"? Question 5. In reply to the words, "You certainly can't say Dallas doesn't love you," whose final words were, "No, you certainly can't"? In reply to the words, "You certainly can't say Dallas doesn't love you," whose final words were, "No, you certainly can't"? Okay, so your next 5 questions are about last words from films or film characters. So question 6. In which film did the violinist Wallace Hartley say his final words of "Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure playing with you tonight"? In which film did violinist Wallace Hartley say his final words of "Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure playing with you tonight"? This is one of my favourite lines from that film. Question 7. "Hang on, lads, I've got a great idea" is the final line from which classic British film? "Hang on, lads, I've got a great idea" is the final line from which classic British film? Question 8. To end, excuse me, to end his first major film appearance, which famous film cannibal uttered the words, "I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner"? To end his first major film appearance, which famous film cannibal uttered the words, "I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner"? So I'm after the character name for that one. Question 9. Sometimes fate has a very strange way of turning up, doesn't it? Somebody started talking to me about this earlier on. But question 9. Which film character's last word was a big cry of freedom? Which film character's last word was a big cry of freedom? There you go. Miley just started talking to me about that film literally 5 minutes ago for a totally different reason. And question 10. So the final line from which film is, "I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope." The final line from which film is, "I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope." Quite possibly the greatest film ever. Definitely one of the best, anyway. Okay, your next 5 are all about last words, last lines, and so on from songs. So question 11. What are the final words in Queen's song Bohemian Rhapsody? What are the final words in Queen's song Bohemian Rhapsody? Question 12. You're gonna be the one that saves me is repeated 3 times to end which 1990s hit song? You're gonna be the one that saves me is repeated 3 times to end which 1990s hit song? Question 13. I would like you to complete the final line to the Eagles hit Hotel California. You can check out any time you like, but... So complete the final line to the Eagles hit Hotel California. You can check out any time you like, but... Question 14. The following lyrics conclude which rap track from the year 2000? Come to think about it, his name was... It was you, damn. The following lyrics conclude which rap track from the year 2000? Come to think about it, his name was... It was you, damn. Anyone my generation should definitely be getting that one right. Question 15. Singing This'll Be the Day That I Die is the final line from which song? Singing This'll Be the Day That I Die is the final line from which song? Pardon? Oh, good music. I'm getting a thumbs up on my music round. Whew. Yeah, but now moving on to literature. So we've got 5 questions, last words in literature to finish off this extended round. Question 16. So the final line from which book is: The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again, but already it was impossible to say which was which. So I'm looking for the book which ends with these words. The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again, but already it was impossible to say which was which. Question 17. Which animal completes the final line of the book Life of Pi? Very few castaways can claim to have survived so long at sea as Mr. Patel, and none in the company of an adult. Which animal completes the final line of the book Life of Pi? Very few castaways can claim to have survived at sea as long as Mr. Patel, and none in the company of an adult. Question 18. So, the closing line from which book is as follows? The scar had not pained Harry for 19 years. All was well. The closing line from which book is: the scar had not pained Harry for 19 years. All was well. Question 19. But wherever they go, and whatever happens to them on the way, in that enchanted place on the top of the forest, a little boy and his bear will always be playing. Which bear is being referred to in the closing words of this classic children's book? But wherever they go, and whatever happens to them on the way, in that enchanted place on the top of the forest, a little boy and his bear will always be playing. Which bear is being referred to in the closing words of the classic children's book? And question 20. Let's end with a Shakespearean question, shall we? So, which Shakespearean character's final words are, "Thy drugs are quick, thus with a kiss I die"? Which Shakespearean character's final words are, "Thy drugs are quick, thus with a kiss I die"? So there you go, with the famous last words round. Can I say a huge thank you to Team Pebbles for suggesting that? I have had an absolute ball researching that round, listening to songs, flicking through books, looking at movie scripts, all of that, learning this. Some of you have had some excellent last words, but they were too hard for quiz questions, I thought. So yeah, thank you for suggesting that. I really enjoyed that round. I hope you did too. So yeah, that's the end of our questions for tonight. So we'll have the answers soon. I'm going to put the pictures up again in a moment, but I have been reminiscing, shall we say, about the last few months of quizzes. So I've just put together a short little video for you. So I'm gonna put on a video for you, and then oh, hang on, before I put on the video, we've got some repeats. Hang on. 10 and 11 for my mum. Right. 10 and 12, sorry. Big moment then. So question 10. The final line from which film is, "I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope." And question 12. "You're gonna be the one that saves me" is repeated 3 times to end which 1990s hit song? So there you go, Mum. So as I was saying, I'm going to put on a video for you. It's about 2.5 minutes long, I think, and then the pictures will flash up for a minute or so, and then I'll come back and go through the answers. So yes, basically, thank you all for joining me on this journey over the last 19 weeks. We found out, didn't we? So I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I can. Here are some of my favourite bits. Bunting's still up, the street parties are over, but welcome to the Stay Inn. Sit back, relax in your own home and enjoy the virtual quiz.
Good evening, folks.
I've got my drink ready. So who are you? What are you drinking tonight? Back on the Laren Blonde tonight. Good evening. I'm Dudley the Dragon, and I'm the mascot of the Stay Inn.
Love, shine a light in every corner of my heart.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandad.
He's a jolly good fellow.
And so say all of us.
Oh, we're back from the Manor House. Hi at the Manor House now. And my East Cornwall Harriers vest.
And now the times are changing. Look at everything that's come and gone.
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
How you gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud?
Dirty sweet cocaine.
We've got 2 minutes to get there. This calls for Quizman!
Wish I was a superhero.
Cheers, everybody.
We've got somebody joining us for a second. Wants to wave at family. Here's India. But the biggest news of the evening, Danny has finally beaten the Morgans. Thank you for your kind words.
I will bid you good night and fly off to save some other quizzes from somewhere.
Hello, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video. I spent hours putting that putting that video together. Barry, who set the moors on fire? Look southwest. I can't at the moment because I'm nowhere near a window. I'll go and look afterwards, shall I? Yeah, I had great fun putting all that together and trying to find the right clips for everything. Took me ages, Danny, to find the clip of when you actually beat the Morgans. Took me ages to find it. It was only a few weeks ago, wasn't it? But there you go. I'm just going to do a little bit of clicking while I'm talking here because I've been trying to get Barry's picture up, haven't I? So Barry has been sending in some fancy dress pictures. So I'm just going to click away, and hopefully now that as I click this, Barry's pictures will come up. There you go. Barry's pictures are up. There you go. Thank you, Barry, for sending in your marvellous pictures of all the fancy dress from many times when you and your team have dressed up. So thank you very much for sending those in. There you go. Alan says it's fog. Okay. Well, whatever it is, I'll go and have a look afterwards, Barry. Thank you for your pictures, and thank you for letting me know about a potential fire or fog. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I had great fun putting that together. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's have some answers, shall we? From the picture round, and then the round 3, the big extended round, just before we end off the quiz tonight. So, your pictures were here, and they all had something to do with the word final, end, or last. Some were more difficult than others. And there was another one in here, sort of related to the have you been listening round. So here you go. Number 1 is Last of the Summer Wine. Number 2 is Final Straw, the Snow Patrol album. Question 3 is an endoscope. Question 4 is Preston North End. Question 5 is Last Night of the Proms. Question 6 is Last of the Mohicans. Question 7 is The Last Supper. Question 8 is Southend Pier, which you learnt last week was the longest leisure pier in the world. And question 9 is Final Destination. It is not Twilight. It looks very similar though, doesn't it? So there you go. Those are your picture questions. Last of the Summer Wine, Final Straw, Endoscope, Preston North End, Last Night of the Proms, Last of the Mohicans, The Last Supper, Southend Pier, and Final Destination. There you go. So let me take those away. There you go. There's me again. And then we moved on to our extended round of famous last words. So let's go through and see who said what before their demise. So, question 1. Gentlemen, I am innocent of everything of which I am accused. I hope that my blood may cement the good fortune of the French. Were the last words of Louis XVI. Question 2. In May this year, my stomach hurts, my neck hurts, everything hurts. Man, I can't breathe. The last words of George Floyd. Question 3. The sportsman who said, I'll finally get to see Marilyn, was Joe DiMaggio, who was of course married to Marilyn Monroe. Question 4. The musician whose final words were, I'm going to the bathroom to read, that was Elvis, who then died in the bathroom. And question 5. In reply to the words, you certainly can't say Dallas doesn't love you, it was JFK who said, no, you certainly can't. So question question 6. William Hartley, he said, gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight in the film Titanic. Question 7. Hang on, lads, I've got a great idea. Are the last words of The Italian Job. Question 8. I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. They were the last words of Hannibal Lecter in his first major film appearance. Question 9. The character whose final words was a big cry of the word freedom was William Wallace, or Braveheart. Question 10. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope. It's the last lines of The Shawshank Redemption. Brilliant, brilliant film. Question 11. The final words in Queen's song Bohemian Rhapsody are "Any way the wind blows." Question 12. "You're gonna be the one that saves me" is repeated 3 times at the end of the song Wonderwall. Alright, question 13. Oh, he said it in French, Simon. Don't wind me up. Question 13. The final line to Hotel California, you had to finish it off for me. "You can check out at any time, but you can never leave." Question 14. "Come to think about it, his name was... It was you, damn." That was the final line from Eminem's hit song Stan. Question 15. "Singing This'll Be the Day That I Die." That is the final line from American Pie. Then we got on to literature. Question 16. The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again. But already it was impossible to say which was which. That is the final line from George Orwell's Animal Farm. Question 17. Yet to complete using an animal. The final line from Life of Pi. "Very few castaways can claim to have survived so long at sea as Mr. Patel, and none in the company of an adult Bengal tiger." I will accept tiger for that. Question 18. The scar had not pained Harry for 19 years. All was well. That is the closing line from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. That's the final word in the whole series of books. Question 19. But wherever they go, and whatever happens to them on the way, in that enchanted place on the top of the forest, a little boy and his bear will always be playing. The bear in question is Winnie the Pooh. And question 20. The Shakespearean character whose final words are "Thy drugs are quick, thus with a kiss I die." That was Romeo. So there you go. Those are your questions for tonight. And for the quizzes for the moment. So yeah, let me know in the chat how you have got on with that. While you're doing that and just totaling up and putting some scores in there, I'm going to start my list of thanks. So I've got so many people that I want to thank. I want to thank, to begin with, the absolutely fantastic Zalek, Mark Tween, Emma Ronchetti, and Gary Swifty Swift, who did the music for us during our Rockstar Week, and then Zalek came back. Absolute highlight for me that round. I didn't have to do much for it, and it was amazing. So thank you to them for giving up their time. Thank you to absolutely everybody who has spread the word about the quiz, and that goes for the pubs we've been working with, the Market in St Clear, the Manor in Rilla Mill, and the Albion Den in Liskeard. The bookshop in Liskeard who have spread the word. They even donated a prize earlier on when we were trying to get more people involved. Thank you. And once again, thank you for my book that you donated, because I've given you so much fun. To spread the word, we've got loads of things like Liskeard Town Council, St Clear Parish have been spreading the word as well. Loads of people spreading the word for us. So thank you. And of course, thank you to all of you, because without you, this would not have happened. It's been an absolute ball, and to be honest, next Friday, I don't know what I am going to be doing with myself. But there you go. So yes, I'll be back in some form, in some place, at somewhere. What those places are, yeah, who knows. But keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to plug it one final time. If you haven't already, please like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Scuizzes, Scuizzes with a C for St Clear Quizzes. It's also on Instagram and Twitter as well. And you'll find out when I actually start doing real quizzes and other things. So there you go. There's my thanks over and done with for now. Let's see who has commented. Driven 4 on 46. Excellent score. Horrible last round for Graham. Oh dear, sorry Graham. There you go, Barry. 47 for Barry, his best ever score. Well done. Colin's on 45. Got Lisa and Matt on 37. Well done. You managed to join in with. Were you in the lakes this week? Have I got it the right way round? Wood of Wonders on 39. Jane, 7 squared less 7, so 42, the same as the old Manati. The Manor team are on 46. Danny's on 45. 42 for my mum. Danny beat the Morgans again. Yes, there you go. What a way to end the quizzes. So thank you very much. And Barry, you seem to have the top score. There you go. Well done. There you go. Right. But yes, so thank you very much. I have got a tiebreaker for you just to finish off the quiz. So, we found out that Wallace, whatever his name was, the violinist, I've lost it, it's come off my screen, was in the film Titanic, saying his last words of, "Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure playing with you tonight." So your final tiebreaker, how many people died in the Titanic disaster? So how many people died in the Titanic disaster? Let's have some guesses, shall we? And then we'll round up and then disappear. There we go, I'm going to have a quick sip of this. Just water to end with. Disappointing, I know. How many people died on board the Titanic? Got an answer here, just in case you fancied a tiebreaker. Got any guesses going to come through? Ooh. There we go. There you go. Lisa's coming in, and you are in the lakes. There you go. I did remember. 1,530. There we go. Any other guesses coming in? 1,067 from Barry. Thank you, Barry. Normally there's a 30-second delay, so probably by the time I've revealed the answer, there will be more sprung up in my chat here. Mum's going for 423 and Dad's going for 607. Colin's going for 539. Well, there were 1,503 people killed in the Titanic disaster. 1,503. And for those of you who are interested, there were about 700 who survived. So there you go. That is our final question in the final quiz for now. Thank you all very, very much for joining in. It has been a real pleasure. For those of you who are local, I hope to bump into you at some point. For those of you who are family, I'll see you at some point. Colleagues, I'll see you in September. For those of you who are out of the area, if you ever come down to Cornwall, just let me know. I am quite happy to go for a pint. You know I like my beer. So, on that note, thank you all very much for joining in and making this an absolute pleasure over the last few months. Yeah, I will keep in contact and let you know what is happening. But yes, for now, good night and thank you all very much for the last few months.